Now on Fox News, they keep talking about how Muslims need to all apologize for the radical Islam. They all need to be investigated. We need to look into them. We need to do congressional hearings. In fact, on Hannity's program, they did it again last night. They had a spokesperson for a Muslim American group, and then they all piled on against him, including Billy Cunningham, who got very worked up and started yelling at the Muslim American like this.
You have a situation here that when people are given the right to vote democratically, they give us Ahmadinejad, they give us the Muslim Brotherhood, we get Hamas, we get Hezbollah. There's a serious problem, Mike, and you're like one of those mice with your head stuck in the sea. You don't understand what's going on, Mike. It is a disaster. This Pew Research poll is a disaster for Muslims, and it's a clarion call that we are at war, and it's time that we respond.
A clarion call that we are at war. And he kept yelling about Muslims. Well, those chickens have come home to roost against an Iraq war veteran. His name is Mohamed A. Salim. He served in the forces. He even served down in Guantanamo. He says he literally fought the terrorists. Well, what happened to him? He's now a cab driver in Virginia. And he had picked up Ed Dahlberg from the country club of Fairfax in Northern Virginia. And Ed Dahlberg apparently was inebriated, and he went on a rant against Muslims. Now, Dahlberg apparently owns Emerald Aviation. He's the president of it, and he's apparently got enough money for his country club. But he comes out, he sees Salim, and he starts to say and rant about, quote, radical fucking Muslims blowing people up all over the world. And obviously Salim's a little concerned about this, but Ed Dahlberg's not done yet. He also says, quote, if you're a fucking Muslim flying jets into the fucking World Trade Center, then fuck you. I will slice your fucking throat right now. Now, understand that of course Salim did no such thing. In fact, he did the exact opposite. He protected our country. He's a U.S. citizen, and he, if anything, protected us against the terrorists. Now, in Guantanamo, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the guy who was the mastermind behind 9/11, is at Guantanamo. He literally protected us against that terrorist. But it doesn't matter, because he's Muslim. And Ed's been watching Fox News, is my guess. And all they hear, and wherever you go in all these conservative circles and all this conservative media, and the Muslims, we're at war, it's a clarion call, the Muslims, they're all guilty. I'll slice your fucking throat, he says. Yeah, I know, tough guy. That's why you served in Iraq and Afghanistan, right, Ed? Oh, no, you didn't. Huh, interesting. You're just a tough guy after you get drunk at your country club. His defense attorney doesn't even dispute it. She says, or he says, that Ed Dahlberg became rather emotional as the discussion turned to jihad and 9/11, and especially heated on the subject of jihadists who want to harm America. Now, the topic didn't turn to that. Dahlberg started ranting about it immediately based on apparently Salim's appearance and his name. It's not like Salim brought it up, okay? And how do we know this happened? Well, it was recorded on a cell phone. So the evidence is pretty clear. Now, the Washington Post has an interview with Salim and some recordings from the cell phone. Let's watch.
He just jumped and hit me, this side.
Okay, whatever you're saying is recorded, and now you're punching me? You're punching me.
Do you think it was...
What happened after this tussle over Salim's phone is in dispute. The driver says after he stopped recording, Dahlberg returned to assault him. Medical records show Salim was treated for a fractured jaw.
You get that? Dahlberg broke his jaw. He should be thanking him. Instead, just on the basis of the fact that he's a Muslim, he assaults him and breaks his jaw. And Mohammed Salim said, I sacrificed for this country. And I myself was fighting the terrorists, and I'm against the acts of violence. I'm not a terrorist. I'm not a jihadist. I'm an American like you. No, you're a little better than that. You actually serve to protect the country. Ed Dahlberg thinks he's a tough guy from a country club. He should face a severe penalty. Right now, he's facing only a misdemeanor. How many stories have we done where people got charged with felonies for the most minor offenses? You didn't pay a parking ticket, somehow snowballs into you being a felon. You break somebody's jaw and that's a misdemeanor? They're considering hate crime charges against them as well. Well, look, I don't know how you feel about hate crime legislation, but we have them on the books. If this isn't a hate crime, what the hell else is? Seems like the textbook definition of a hate crime. If Dahlberg only gets a misdemeanor, what you're doing is you're encouraging them. You're encouraging the hatred, you're encouraging the violence, and you're encouraging this clarion call for hate and fear-mongering, usually led by Fox News.